There we go. Let me get me bigger here. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for joining us again today. Super excited for today's live stream, bringing you more new AI features as we're doing this month. So super excited for today's. It's I think one of the bigger updates that we've done is going to really open up the possibilities for you guys on what you're able to design and how quickly you're able to get those designs created. So this week and next week, I mean, both of these are on par for me as far as excitement level goes as when we released our Canva integration. So if that tells you anything, both of these, I think this week and next week, really could revolutionize what you're able to offer during Q4 and what that is going to look like for you guys. So alrighty, see people already starting to comment coming in here. Awesome. Chris from Montana. Hey, Michael, how we doing? We got Phil from California. Very cool. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. I have several examples and a few things that we're going to kind of walk through today. And then, of course, as always, we'll be able to answer any questions that you might have along the way and should have plenty of time at the end to answer any other questions as well. So let me pull it up here and we'll get going. All right, let me bring my screen back up here. Okay, here we go. So for those that weren't on last week's live stream or haven't heard in the past week, last week we launched our SEO functionality that allows you to use AI, in particular a connection with OpenAI, to be able to help select SEO friendly tags, description tags, title, all of that. You can upload your own CSV file, supply all that to the AI, and it be able to generate everything for you. So setup wise, there's nothing different from the last one really that needs done. So when you come in here to OpenAI, you just need to have that OpenAI connected. Do make sure the feature we are showing today, you do want to make sure that you follow the verification step here. It really only takes like 60 seconds to complete. They use a third party to just verify an ID matches with like the camera on your phone. So super easy to do, but you'll want to make sure to complete that step. So I'm going to walk through an example. So what we are going to be demoing and showing you guys today is the ability to take user supplied photos and apply any kind of AI filter that you want to that photo. So this really, the possibilities are endless, and I have a few different examples to show you today. But I've never been a huge fan. Like it's nice and they sell well. The like chibi style artwork where you select the different hair color and skin tones and eye color and all that type of thing. But really, it's kind of a pain in the you know what for you as the merchant and for the seller, right? Like you got to go through and you got to get all those images. You got to make sure they're all sized the right way, get them all lined up, get everything set up. Like that's a lot of work. And then really it's quite a bit of work on your customer's standpoint as well, because they have to go through and select from potentially hundreds of different hairstyles, all the different skin colors, all the different shirt options, just to get something that kind of gives them that chibi avatar that is at kind of close to the person they're trying to represent. So you can do stuff like that now, just like essentially automatically. They don't have to go through and select all the different stuff or do anything like that. So let me stop talking and walk through an example here and show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm going to come in here to the product catalog. And for now, we'll just go with a shine-on acrylic square plaque. Those are just pretty simple to design with. So I'm going to start with here by uploading image. So let me just find a sample image here that will work well. Okay. All right, let's go with this. So we got this picture of two kids here, right? So if we scroll down now to our personalized section, then you'll see you now have this new option to apply an AI filter. So if I click on that, we'll see all of the different options that we have. Any prompts that you put in here are reusable. So if you get something that you really like on an acrylic plaque and you want to do the same thing on an ornament, you can easily kind of make that change. So I'm going to come in here to ones that I already have saved. And let's start with this one here. So this one says, actually, I'm going to go ahead and generate this while I am kind of reading through that. So convert this chibi style artwork, have a couple turn and face forward so you see their faces. So this will work even if like the subject in the photo are facing each other. Subject should be sitting cross-legged Indian style. Remove the background so it's fully transparent. So that's the prompt that I gave it, and you guys will see just how good of a job it can do here in a second. So it does take a minute for these to generate. If anybody's used, so you guys know this connects to OpenAI. So it's using the same technology behind the scenes as ChatGPT, but their AI process is usually quite a bit faster than if you do these directly in ChatGPT. So this process takes, usually it is done within about a minute, whereas if you're using ChatGPT, that usually takes about 3 minutes. So besides our prompt setting here, you'll see we also have the option here to set our resolution. So the AI can produce in 3 different resolutions. It has the square, a landscape, and a portrait resolution. So it can do those 3. We also have an upscaler built into this. So I'll show you that here in a second as well. So there you go. So you can see what it was able to generate with those 2 characters here. Does, like I said, a really, really good job on these. So if we scroll up, we can see now, so it can generate, let me just edit this so you can see it here. It can generate a square, portrait, or landscape. So you can do 1024 by 1024, 1024 by 1536, or a landscape, which is 1536 by 1024, right? So our overall artwork here, though, is 3540 by 3186. So if I have something that's taking up the majority of my screen here, or if I'm doing something, like a blanket, even some t-shirts, depending on the size, like this is going to get to be too small really fast, and your artwork is really going to have to be stretched to be able to make it work. So we also have built in here upscaler that will upscale your sample here, and then it'll also automatically upscale any images that the customer supplies as well. So they'll supply the image, it'll do the conversion, it'll do that upscale. You can see that upscale only adds a second or 2 to the process. So it's very, very fast on the upscaling side of things. So a few other things with this. You do not have to, actually, you know what? Let me, so this works with live previews. I know a lot of you are selling on Etsy and are asking yourself now, how do we get the image from the customer? Because that has always been an issue. On that one, I will just say, tune in for next week. We have a solution to that problem, which is why I'm so excited for next week as well. I think tune in next week. We'll leave it at that. But I will say everything that we're talking about here will be very, very, very relevant to you next week. So just keep that in mind. For Shopify, you have 2 options. So you can either show this as a live preview and have the customer actually be able to see the generated preview. They will see a similar preview, and I can show it to you here in a second as well. they will see a very similar preview to what you guys just saw, where it's going to show more than just the spinning wheel. So it is going to show kind of a blur overlay over the top of the image that gets lighter and lighter, so they can kind of see that something's actually getting generated. There's going to be text along with the spinner that is going to show, again, that something is happening and it's not just sitting there and is stuck. So it gives active feedback along the way. Again, that takes around 1 second. So if you think about how long it would take somebody to go through and select all of the different options for hairstyle and hair color and skin style and color and eyes and shirt, and not even have the exact right shirt, it really ends up being even shorter than it would take to do some of that. So again, super, super excited for this. Let me just go through and let me think here. Yeah, let me just save this. I will mention first, you can also do this with other elements on here as well. So if I had other artwork, if I had backgrounds, if I had any kind of overlay I wanted to do, if I wanted to add text, of course, you can kind of do all of that here in one as well. And it'll work absolutely that way as well. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just go ahead and create this product. Select here at the top. And we'll give that a second to generate here. And we're going to need a second. We'll generate our live previews here as well. Let me see. I think I saw a couple questions coming in. Canva integration is the best. I love the Canva integration, which tells you how excited I am for this week and next week too. I have a feeling this will be better than the Canva integration. You know, in a lot of ways, that is arguably will be, especially next week, because it's stuff that's just not able to be done. It's not that it's just speeding up time, but it's giving you access to stuff that like isn't available right now. Cool. Shane from Usha's here. How we doing? All right. Let's see. Unlimited tokens. So good question. So this works the same as the rest of our OpenAI integration, where any of the tokens are billed directly from OpenAI. So yes, it is unlimited. You will pay OpenAI for any token usage, but it'll be to them directly. So it gives you unlimited access. We're not like marking anything up and charging you additional tokens or anything like that. It's just directly what OpenAI charges for it. That usually runs somewhere around 10, maybe up to 17 cents an image, just kind of depending on the prompt and the image and that sort of thing. So it does vary a little bit on what that is. I know OpenAI is constantly lowering their prices as like new models come out, other models get cheaper. This is kind of that newer image generation model from OpenAI. So I would expect that to be coming down in price in the near future as well. Okay. Will be high resolution. I'm guessing you asked that right before we showed the upscale. We'll show it for Shopify here in a second. Can it do photorealistic? I'll get into some more detail on the photorealistic question here in a minute. Okay, so we've got this. Let's go ahead and publish this to Shopify. And we'll do that with our live previews. Right, so let's go over to Shopify here. Okay, so here we are. So if I come in here to personalize, you'll see it has the similar live preview to our other stuff. You have the option here to upload a file. So let me do a different one now. So I'll upload that file. It'll instantly, you'll see it'll do that blur. That blur will start to go away. And this text here will change as well. So the user is kind of constantly getting feedback that something is happening. And they're not like, is it stuck? Did something happen or what's going on here? So Let's let that run for a minute as I jump back over here to Anywhere POD, and let's jump into another product here real quick too. A few more things I want to show. So as far as prompts go, so those that haven't done much with prompts before, it's important to get your prompt correct. So a lot of times what you can do is kind of take an example of something that you want, and be able to actually feed that into ChatGPT and have it give you a prompt. And I'll walk through an example of how I do that here in a little bit. But it's kind of one or the other, right? Because there is you can get too specific with prompts as well. So sometimes you try to be very, very specific with a prompt and you end up kind of contradicting yourself a little bit, which then can confuse the AI a little bit and kind of have it hallucinate a little bit. So you want to be thorough, but specific and complete, right? So you're not kind of going on too much. If it can be shorter is usually better. So like if you look at something, like even if I just take this image and I put in something that like it should know, and say I just put in Simpsons, right? So it's like Simpsons cartoon. I'm just putting in one word. This actually generates a very, very reliable image because the AI already knows what the Simpsons are, right? So it's able to generate that without a whole lot of other instruction or other issues. So let me jump back over to our other one here. This was on our live preview. You can see it's already done generating. This was the same two kids, but it was a picture with their mom. They were all kind of like sitting on each other's lap or something. So it did a really good job kind of turning that into something that is consistent with what we were looking for. So super cool on that one. Let's see. This will be great for mugs and tumblers. This is such a time saver. Yes, I think it. I think there's so many possibilities with this. We'll go through a couple of ideas here in a minute, but there are like this really opens up some really, really cool stuff that that you can do. If they upload a photo, the customer can remove the background on the photo, then use the AI filter. And also, can we offer different AI filter options on the same listing? So for background, there we go. So you can see here the that Simpsons art did a really good job with it. For the background, there is an option here for a transparent background. So what this does have a setting behind the scenes that tells the AI, hey, we want this image that's generated to be transparent. I found that their setting for a transparent background was a little bit hit and miss. Most of the time it did pretty good job just using that transparent setting, but sometimes it would still kind of give me some background. So you'll notice when I checked that, it also added this line right here that says remove the background so it is fully transparent clip art. We might be adjusting this so we don't have that clip art piece, because I notice every once in a while it wants to actually like clip off like a hand or a shoulder or something. But between the checkbox and mentioning in your prompt that you want the background to be fully transparent, you will get a transparent background without having to run through a secondary like background remover like you're referring to here. So does a really, really good job with that way. Valentine's Day is going to be so much fun with this. Yes, that is really use case for Valentine's Day. So the other option that you have here that I haven't mentioned yet is you also have the option to allow combining of multiple files. What that does is allow the customer to upload multiple images. So maybe they want to combine an image of loved ones. Maybe, there's a deceased relative that they want to add into the image as well. So you can turn this on, and that will allow them, it'll work off of the same prompt, but they'll upload multiple images. And when they do, it'll combine all of those into one generated image, which is really, really cool. Now, this is where I want to, somebody had the question a few minutes ago, whether or not it can do photorealistic. So it can, but I will say the less that you change the image, the more kind of uncanny it can get. So right now, OpenAI does not have a way to, like, it's going to regenerate the entire image. So it works great doing anything where that's what you want, right? So like any of these cartoon style images, like it's regenerating that entire image. If you tell it to do, oh, you can't see my screen. Let's go back here. There we go. Sorry about that. So this was the feature I was talking about up here for allowing combining multiple files, right? So you turn that on and then the customer will be able to upload multiple images. So it, as I said, it will regenerate the entire image. So you can tell it to do photorealistic and it does a pretty good job depending on the quality of your image, right? So if you have a really good headshot that is like just your kind of like standard headshot, it gets really, really close to the original. Anything else, and even sometimes on that one, it gets a little bit on borderline of like uncanny valley a little bit, where it's like, that's the person, but it just kind of looks a little bit off. So if you want to do something like that, what I would recommend is instead of having it be 100% photorealistic, go for more of like a watercolor look or like a Renaissance painting or, something kind of along those lines. Caricatures. Yeah. Caricatures would be another really good one. That would do really well. Let's see here. Another option. So here is, to show you one more example here. Let me see if I have. Yeah, we'll do these same three people here, right? And then down here for our prompt, we'll do this. And I've got one already listed in here that is, oh no, did I get rid of it? Let me see if I still have it here. 1 second. There was. Yeah, here we go. So transform this modern family photo into a Renaissance style oil painting. Dress each person in elegant 15th century European attire, including ornate gowns, doublets, and traditional hats like barrettes or hoods. Use rich, warm colors, soft lighting, and textures. Add subtle background details like stone arches, draped velvet curtains, or a classical landscape. The style should resemble a formal portrait by a Renaissance master. So it did a really good job with this one too. Let's generate this one. And while that is going, let me show you one more example here and kind of how, this one will work. So you can also do these style. These have been very popular for a while now, where they're taking the head of a dog or whatever and putting it on, kind of dressing it in this like, Renaissance medieval portrait style thing, right? So to come up with something like this is a good example of where I was mentioning you can take a screenshot of something else and have ChatGPT give you a prompt to use to kind of generate that same image. So what I'm going to do here is actually just take a screenshot of this. I don't think you can probably see my screenshot thing on the screen, but I'm going to take a screenshot here that I'm going to copy. So I've got that copied, and I'm going to head over to ChatGPT. Let me see here. get that open. Okay, so what I'm going to do now here in ChatGPT, make sure you're seeing my screen. You are. Okay, so I am going to paste that image here, and I'm going to say I want to take a picture of someone's dog and turn it into a picture like this. Help me with the prompt to do that. And it is going to scan that image, and then it's going to give me a prompt that I can use right inside. There we go. This prompt right here. So I can grab this now. And let's come back over to Anywhere POD. You can see here our kind of Renaissance style one is done. Another good one does a really good job. So let's remove that. And let me add another placeholder image here of a dog. There we go. So let's get that. Come down here to personalize and come to our filters. And we'll put in that prompt that ChatGPT gave us here. And we'll say generate. And we'll let that go here. Another very common one that you'll see on Etsy here, jump back over here, are these one-line drawing style designs. There's several of these that do really, really well. So this could be a really good one. Another one that could be really good that actually has really, really good data behind it are coloring books. Right? So imagine being able to take some of these coloring book ideas and turn them into actually like personalized coloring books. Here's one customized coloring book. That looks like they're just selling it as a digital download. T-Launch has an activity book that would work really, really well for this. You do have to have the full 28 pages, so it's a full book, but not all 28 pages need to be personalized. So I'd look at having a couple different options where you could have, maybe every other page is customized. So now you have a great customizable gift that is able to be personalized. So the kid's coloring book now is not only just like your standard stuff, but also has like pictures of the family in it. There were also some on here that were doing really well in the wedding niche for like bridal gift favors and stuff like that. That were doing really well as like, a wedding activity book, except they're all like generic. So it's like churches and cakes and that sort of thing. But if it was actually personalized with the like bride and groom or what the church they're getting married in, maybe like any of that type of stuff, you would be able to do now. So I think there's some really, really good possibilities for those as well. All right, here is, you can see, made it a little bit dark. So I would probably ask it to keep it a little bit lighter so it's not quite so dark. So there's some more lighting, but another really good use case here is being able to do these. Alrighty, that is, I think, the majority. I was trying to think if there's anything else. So the main thing to remember, one is your prompts are reusable. You can select from 3 different resolutions, which is big. Don't forget to upscale your artwork. And don't forget, you can also allow combining multiple images. I think there's some really good stuff there in the memorial niche, kind of across any of these. There's really good options in kind of that memorial niche. So some great, great opportunities there. Again, you want to make sure when you set up your account and you connect OpenAI to Anywhere POD, You want to make sure that you complete your steps over here. Make sure you complete your organization. They call it organization. It's really just kind of verifying your account as yourself. Only takes, like I said, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds tops. It's just a matter of taking a picture of an ID, and they verify that against the face with the camera on your phone. Alrighty, very cool. Any other questions at all? Will you be able to use the image created in a pattern and add a custom name? Yes, you can use the image in a pattern. Absolutely. That will still work. So it'll do the conversion and then it'll add it to your pattern. And yes, absolutely on the custom names as well. So you can do multiple personalization layers with this. So it can be multiple AI filters. You can do an AI filter with just a regular personalized image. You can add other artwork. You can add text. You can add text patterns, like any of that. All of that is available to be used. How much does it cost per generation? So it's that whole like token-based pricing from OpenAI. It does vary a bit from image to image. You do kind of have a breakdown of that in your OpenAI account. Remember, your OpenAI account is completely free. It's 100% usage based. So you can kind of jump in there and play around with it, get connected. And kind of what I would do is connect your account, put one in, run the generation, and then you can go directly to your usage in OpenAI and see what that looks like. In my experience, most images have been around that like 10 up to around 17 cents an image, somewhere around that neighborhood. Again, it varies a bit, kind of depends on your prompt and the size of the uploaded image and all of that. So there's a bit of a cost for the prompt and the input image, so the image that the customer supplies, but that's very slight. The majority of your cost is in the like image that actually gets generated. So having a customer be able to upload multiple files might increase your cost a little bit, but it's not like drastic. So if they upload 2, it's nowhere close to double the price or anything like that. So it just all kind of depends a little bit there on that. Alrighty, very cool, says Brian. Awesome. Any other questions at all? Let me know. Happy to answer any questions you guys might have before we get out of here. I will say in about 20 minutes, if you guys want to see some more stuff, we're going to be going over these AI features in more detail again over on Jay's channel. So it's Jay's Way is his YouTube channel. So if you guys want to come over and join us over there here in about 20 minutes. Otherwise, I'm not seeing any more questions come in. Thanks, Kimberly. She says you have the best app for POD products. Thanks. Awesome. Very cool. Make sure, in particular, if you are an Etsy seller, next week is a live session you do not want to miss. If you thought last week was cool and this week was even cooler, come prepared with the duct tape to keep your heads wrapped up for next week. I am very, very excited for what we have coming next week. Where can you share the link? Yeah, so it's let me see if I can just grab his YouTube channel here for you real quick. I think it says Jay's Way is his YouTube here. Let me see. Jay's Way works. I will drop a link in the chat. Don't know if he has. Yep, he's got it already scheduled in there. So you should be able to go over there and there we go. So you can jump on it over there. Again, that's at in 20 minutes from right now. So alrighty. Hope that helps everybody. If you have any questions on this, if you get in, test it out, please feel free to reach out and let us know. make sure to join our live stream next week. Like I said, that's going to be huge, especially if you are an Etsy seller. And then the following week will still be another good one. It's more of a kind of recap and Q&A. So I encourage you guys over the next couple weeks, get in, play with the features that we're releasing. So if you do have any questions, we can address those live next week, or in 2 weeks, I guess. So when you upscale the original artwork, this will also work as well when the customer uploads. Yes. So when either the customer uploads in the live preview or you as the store owner upload after an order comes in, it'll upload, it'll do the conversion, and then it'll also upscale. This also works if you don't want to show a live preview. So if you're on Etsy and you don't want to show a live preview to the customer because you don't want them to wait, they can upload their image, place the order, and then when it comes into Anywhere POD, before it goes to you to be able to review, it's going to generate that image for you. So it'll all kind of happen behind the scenes that way. So that's an option with that as well. Alrighty, hope that helps everybody. If you do have, as I said, any other questions, please feel free to let us know. We'll be happy to help further throughout the week. Feel free to reach out to our support. Alrighty, thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.